was a cursed portrait that hung in the grand hallway. They said it contained the spirit of Lady Margaret, a woman who vanished under mysterious circumstances centuries ago. Anyone who gazed into her eyes would be haunted by her presence. The townsfolk whispered tales of Lady Margaret, her beauty unmatched and her story tragic. They spoke of how she was betrayed by her lover, left to linger in the shadows of the mansion. Whispers filled the air, warning anyone who dared to approach the portrait, claiming it held her soul captive. Despite the legends, a brave family moved into the mansion, the Johnsons. The mother, Sarah, an artist, was drawn to the house's dark allure. She saw it not as a place of horror, but as an inspiration for her next masterpiece. Little did they know, the house had its own story to tell. As Sarah explored the dimly lit corridors, she felt an unusual pull towards the portrait hanging in the grand hallway. It seemed to beckon her, whispering secrets of the past. She could not shake the feeling that there was more to the woman in the painting. That night, as the family settled in, Sarah found herself restless. The portrait seemed to glow faintly in the moonlight, casting eerie shadows on the walls. In her dreams, Lady Margaret appeared, her face twisted in sorrow, pleading for something she could not understand. As Sarah tried to sleep, she heard soft whispers echoing through the halls, like a distant lullaby luring her closer to the portrait. Each time she brushed it off as her imagination, the whispers grew louder, more insistent, filling her heart with unease. The next morning, Sarah shared her experience with her family. They laughed, dismissing her fears as mere figments of a tired mind. But deep down, Sarah felt the weight of the house pressing on her, the secrets it held just beneath the surface. Days turned into weeks, and Sarah's obsession with the portrait grew. She spent hours sketching and painting, captivated by Lady Margaret's expression. Each stroke of her brush seemed to bring the woman closer, and Sarah felt an unexplainable connection to her. One stormy evening, while rummaging through an old trunk in the attic, Sarah discovered a dusty diary belonging to Lady Margaret. The pages were filled with dark tales of love, betrayal, and a curse that bound her to the portrait. With each word, Sarah felt the shadows of the past creeping closer. As Sarah read the diary, the whispers became louder, now pleading for help. A cold breeze brushed past her, chilling her to the bone. The room felt alive, the shadows around her growing darker and more menacing. Determined to uncover the truth, Sarah stood before the portrait and spoke, her voice trembling. "What do you want from me?" The air crackled with tension, and for a moment, she feared the answer she might receive. To her shock, the eyes of Lady Margaret began to glisten with tears. "Help me break the curse," a voice echoed in Sarah's mind. It was both a plea and a warning, resonating deep within her soul. The weight of the woman's sorrow pressed upon her heart. The diary revealed the truth. Lady Margaret had been betrayed by her lover, cursed to remain in the portrait until her story was told. Sarah felt a surge of determination. She knew she had to tell the world about Lady Margaret's tragic fate. Gathering her family, Sarah shared everything she had learned. Surprisingly, her family believed her and agreed to help. Together, they planned a presentation to share Lady Margaret's story with the town, hoping to find closure for the restless spirit. The family worked together, creating a visual presentation that combined Sarah's art and the diary's passages. With every preparation, they felt the mansion's atmosphere change, as if the house itself was holding its breath, waiting for the truth to be revealed. On the night of the presentation, the townsfolk gathered in the mansion, eager to hear the haunting tale of Lady Margaret. Excitement mixed with trepidation filled the air. Sarah stood before them, her heart pounding, ready to unveil the mystery that had plagued the town for centuries. As Sarah recounted the tale, the atmosphere thickened. Gasps echoed through the hall as the audience learned of the betrayal, the heartbreak, and the curse that bound Lady Margaret to the mansion. The weight of her sorrow hung heavily in the room. As the story reached its climax, Sarah felt a rush of energy. Suddenly, the portrait flickered, and Lady Margaret appeared in the room, ethereal and glowing. Her presence filled the space with a sense of peace and longing. "Thank you for telling my story," Lady Margaret whispered, her voice resonating in the hall. "You have freed me." The audience stood in awe as the spirit of Lady Margaret radiated warmth and gratitude. Her sorrow finally lifted. In an instant, the portrait vanished from the wall, leaving behind a sense of calm. The whispers faded into silence, and the mansion seemed to exhale, finally free from its haunted past. Sarah and her family exchanged relieved glances, knowing they had done something incredible. The mansion was no longer a place of fear. The townsfolk celebrated, grateful for the release of Lady Margaret's spirit. The old mansion stood tall, its dark history transformed into a story of hope and redemption. Sarah became a storyteller, sharing Lady Margaret's tale for generations to come. The mansion, once a symbol of dread, now represented the importance of sharing stories, reminding everyone that every tale deserves to be told, no matter how dark the past may be. If you liked the story, don't forget to subscribe to the channel.